Hello, hello, good evening, chat. How are you today? Hopefully, you had a fantastic day. Let's see, what is today? Today's Thursday. So, I hope you had a fantastic week because guess what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is Friday, one day closer to the weekend. And guess what? Mother's Day is right around the corner. So, make sure you've done all the things that you're supposed to do, chat. Anyway, so let's see. Last week, what did we do? We played some Baldur's Gate 3. That was fun. With the Tilko and his wife. Let's see. So today, we're going to be continuing on with the with World of Warcraft. We'll be playing. Let's see. Our. Oop, hold on. Let's swap this up. I have that on as that. Let's go ahead and go to the World of Warcraft. I do wish you could put it on classic, but whatevs. Actually, you know what? Let's get rid of that one. Let's go to wow. Classic. Cool. All right. So we're gonna continue on with the Shaman tank. Let's see. We have let's see, we're at level 64. We've been doing some dungeon grinding and doing a couple quests on the side as well. Um yeah, everything's going pretty good with him. Um I've been kind of messing around with his dual wield, aka Shaman Fury spec. But that's been pretty cool. It's all right. It's good. It does some good damage. Uh, Trying to learn how to do the whole sinking thing with the weapons. That is beyond a lot. It's a little. It's not too much. It's for much because on top of that, then people are expecting you to do totem twisting. Um, so you don't gimp all of your mana. I did go into the resto tree a little bit. We picked up 3% and decreased the cost of mana of the totems. But anyway, so let's go ahead and hop in. Yeah, Kote. Anyway, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and hop back in the game. Okay. Um, but I also found a couple real cool gold farming things too. So what is it over here? Where are these spores? These spores on here going to gold a piece for rep grinding. Evidently, people do. But if you can see here, this is the thing that shows if you are in sync or not. And see how we're out of sync? Well, you have to click a button. But man, that thing is weird. It's rough. So we just go ahead and just, you know what? Crank out the damage anyway. Blast, blast, blast. It's dead. That's all we care about. The end result of the mob is dead, and I'm looting its corpse. Hey, thank you very much for the follow. Swelly? Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Hmm. So let's see what we got going on now. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Underbog. What do we have there that we could want? The underbog. I don't think I've even done that one yet. Oh boy. Heck if I can remember even what it looks like. Underbog TBC. Let's take a look at least what some of the things look like. Okay. Ah, that one. Okay. Give it a shot, see what happens. Okay. All right, so all right. Let's list self. Ain't nobody trying to play. Let's edit the listing. We do still need the gloves from ramps. Do we want to do it? Actually, I really want to do monotones. I kind of do. Um, oh, let's see. So we got a person who was hitting me up saying, underbog question mark. You're set as tank right now. DPS, I assume? Nah, bro. Nah. Tank. I tank. Okay. Since that is the case, let's swap over. Somebody in the guild chat wants to spend 700 gold for one item. Dang. What item? How long will it last? Question mark. The reason why, like, it might be worth it. I mean, if you kind of extrapolate of time things take to get, or, if you spend, you know, let's say 10 gold on something, but it lasts until from level 60 to 70, that's a gold a level. I think that's worth it. Okay, so this is what he wants to get. Spell strike pants. Claw. Spell hit rating, crit spell rating, damage done, and healing by 46. Tailoring, and if they get the two set piece, the two-piece combo, let's see, gives a chance when your harmful spell lands to increase the damage of your spells and effects by 92. That ain't bad. Oh, somehow that broke. Did it? Oh no, that's right. I am. Let's see. Increased damage and healing done by magic spells. Main hand. See, one thing I was really kind of starting to look at, but then I'd found out that it doesn't work and can't do it. So I was looking at trying to see if I could do spell hands and like slap to something like this on here, where you get the extra 26 damage, you know, as a DPS, I think that'd be beaming legit. But unfortunately, from what happened, evidently that was a thing for just a small amount of time, where they allowed it to happen, but um, they nerfed it because of Shaman who were doing spell hands. Um, so they made it so that only one hand, only main hands, are able to get the spell damage. I'm curious. Do any shields have spell damage? That'd be a nice thing to know. Huh. Wow, TBC. Shields with spell damage. Uh, let's see, the Crystal Pulse Shield, huh? You get that at level, I don't know. Oh, because we are in the wrong spot. There we go. So you get that at level 69. Increase healing done and damage up by now. Healing done by up to 35 and damage done up to 12 for all magical spells. Restores 6 mana per 5 seconds. I don't know. There might be a world for that. There might be. There really is. I think there is. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to try to theory craft that a little bit more. So we wouldn't necessarily need much, what is it called? Strength. We'd probably go ahead and just replace the stat numbers from strength to intellect, or agility to intellect, and then that agility give the stat numbers from strength and give it to that. They're about even ish, but there's still slight differences, but that might work. If there are more shields that have the front page is a tab. Oh, okay. Let's check this out. So there. Uh, I should bring a page that has some, say, level requirement. Let's just say the level requirement is 69 to 70. Then the drop down, let's see variables, healings, healing done by spells. Offensive, okay. Spell damage. There's spell hit. Spell crit. Melee. Let's see. Spell crit, but where's actual just... Okay, maybe just look up healing. Healing done by spells. So they did that on purpose. So let's see. Magtheridon dropped something. That's 18. Increase the healing. I wonder if that actually works for the your healing totem. That'd be pretty cool. Stamint. Hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a drop. That's a drop. There's actually a lot, but we also wanted to have stam too. That would be nice. Stamina. Let's see. There's only a few things. Let's see. There's 22 items at level 70, two items at level at one item at level 69. Let's take a look at 60 to 70. Like I said, we're kind of just, this is how you theory craft things. You got to kind of look at things and try to look at a broader picture. Wow. Let's see. So we got a level 68. We got a couple of level 60s. So we got like a bunch of some stuff from Nex. Oh, I'm sitting here dying. Chat, why didn't you tell me I was sitting here dying, getting jacked up? Shame on you, chat. And I need to put my dang shield back on if I can find it. There we go. Alright, there we go. We're good now. All right. Well, I kind of want. I'll take. See. Dun, dun, dun. Man, Halo has always had just a fire soundtrack to me. I'm telling you. Do some water walking. Make sure we're on top of the water. Oh boy. Yeah, he didn't see me. Okay, so. But I think there is I think there is a place for it. See, we kind of, you know what? We're also going to go ahead and sign up for Monotunes. Yeah, we're going to also sign up for Monotunes. Why? Because we would really like the, what is that called? There's a shield there that looks real nice, real nice. Is that what I'm gonna go for? No, that is not. More money, another gold. See? That it? There it is. There it is. Let's get it, chat. Let's get it. Let's get it. Oh. Hello. Uh, nice to see you again. Let's see. Well, since that is the case, what will we have to do? I think we're going to need to, well, first of all, put on our weapons, the correct weapons, all the good things. I don't even know what, honestly, what we're about to run. Let's see, I got 7 of those. Probably should get more. Yeah, we're gonna go try to go get some more right quick before. So where are we even going? The Grand. Going to guess we're doing, what's the name? It's probably what my guess is. So we're gonna roll with that. Okay. Oh, hold on. We got a point to use. Awesome. Okay. No, nope, nope, nope. All right. So then that means we're here. There we go. Yeah. I think I'm going to do a quick bio before a run. First 2, 3, done. Ye of little faith. We got somebody sitting here saying that we're gonna have a wipe.
Stay away.
Need to grab some bombs real quick. But while that's flying, I will be right back, chat. Be right back. We back. Okay. Let's get to running. Okay. Here. I think actually the other one's a little bit better, but it's all good. How did he die? Bell iron bombs. Let's try to get like 10 of them right quick, so we don't really have time to try to make them. Ooh boy. Shopping. Bell. All right, that should be good enough. Like I said, I have no idea which actual dungeon we're about to run. So let's take that and we'll see where we wind up. We are doing monotombs. All right, let's go, boys. Let's go. Now, where is More Pally even at? I don't see his... Is he in Azeroth? I have no idea where this dude is at. All right, so let's go ahead and clear that off so we don't have to look at that. Mount up. Remember, people, hydrate. Oh, okay, so he's... So we're waiting for the paladin to release himself so he can try to come back. Don't buy spell strike pants. Mm, 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 mm. So we got a 64, 65, he's 63. Hunter, Druid, Warlock. Okay. Hmm. Well, what is nice is... No, actually, I have this one already. Oh. Well, what? Since I'm actually doing pretty good on the front of that, let's change this macro. No, it's not just for me. That's right. It's also for them. But, well, they're saying, Muddy's like, well, let's kick the Pally. Thing is, though, Pally is the leader. Not much you can do about that. I think I want to anyway, just to get some trickle healing. TBC, AV, Grace of Air, monitoring instead. Save that. And we're going to go to here. Macros P. There we go. Now let's find the Healing Spring Totem instead. There we go. And then we get rid of the rank 5. So we'll do that. We'll slap this one. I don't know. I guess we can put that right here. Put that there. Toss that out. Warlock Hunters all. Okay, let's see. Maybe there's a mage. Oh, let's see if we can. May I have some water, please? Trade. Let's see. May I have some water, please? May I have some water, please? Let's see. Ooh. Oops. Oh. Okay, he didn't give me the water. Okay. Eek. I always forget which one this is. Ooh, which way? I think is it this way? Yep, I think it is. Great Sword of Horrid Dreams. That seems terrible. Do-do. Oops. Oh, I went to the wrong one. Oops. Wrong portal. Oops. There, okay. We're at the top right. Okay, at the top over there. Okay. So I think it's in that one. Do. Let's snatch up these quests too, since we're here. Let's see, legs, crit. We'll see, maybe. We'll take a look at the stats a little bit later. We just gotta get in here. Let's see. We got that. Got that one. Got that. Slap that on for me. I would still suggest that you watch your threat. Anybody have any extra water? I can't eat those. I can't have this. That is gone now. And I will throw this out as soon as there. That. Fair. B. Let's go ahead and throw that on too. Looking for extra water.
Couldn't resist.
No extra water? All right. Okay, we got that, and that's all we got, and that's what we will make work then. Alright. That's stupid. Ooh. 26. Dang. Well, I got it now. I'll do something with it later then. Ready? He just kind of just stops healing. Was he asleep? Well, at least we won. There's a Doom Guard over there for whatever reason. Hmm. Guess I'm not sure if he feared or not. Maybe he was fearing? Oh, right. They can't frick. I forget. That's what he was trying to type. Whoops. I forgot that dude does that. I did see reflect, but I thought it just said spells. Thought it was just spells. That's why we weren't. Sweet. What's the dungeon? Oh, yeah. It can't be. No. No. Need Outlander. Oh, dang, those would have been nice. Oh, those would have been real nice. Ugh. Hot darn it. Oh well. Maybe some other day. this guy? Hmm. All right. Hmm. Might be a rough run. This might be a rough little run, but we'll get through it. It'll be alright. So evidently, our healer was lagging out. But you know what? Hey, man. The warrior left, but you know what? Things happen. It's all good. It's a game. People get DC'd. Things just happen. Run some meds right quick, and I shall be right back. All right, calm down, guys. Calm down. I'm back. I'm back. All right. All right. So let's go to here. And then history, because we started it just to make sure that we had it. There it is. Okay. All right. Drop this down. Make that bigger. Then swap out. Screen share.
I want to talk a little bit about Classic Plus. So this is
Here we
something I
go.
want to do, and I think would be like a fun community exercise to do. I want to spend some time on stream, and I've actually been building some tools out, working on some things. I want to go over and I want us to like community design Classic Plus on stream. I think it'd be a fun thing to do. I think it'd be interesting to go through and kind of talk about what you'd want to see in Classic Plus. What is Classic Plus? Classic Plus is just like a random name that we kind of made up as a community of, okay, take vanilla WoW and then plus, right? But what does that mean? And it means something completely different to everybody. For me, what Classic Plus is, imagine you take vanilla WoW, and what if vanilla WoW had never ended? And what is vanilla WoW? What is classic? What is vanilla WoW? You know, say Classic Plus. Well, classic is like, you know, anything that's old, right? Classic is vanilla. Classic is up to Wrath of the Lich King. Everybody has a different definition. But I think if you're talking about a Classic Plus at level 60, what if level 60 had never ended? And the design principles of what that vanilla WoW to Burning Crusade kind of era is, my thought process behind a Classic Plus is kind of that vanilla to Burning Crusade era, like maybe like the Burning Crusade pre-patch, but the portal had never opened. What if the Dark Portal had never opened? What if you never go to Outland? That's kind of the way that I see it. There's a lot of good ideas that have come about from the community and like from other like private servers and stuff. People really like some of the things that Turtle WoW did. I've taken a look at it. It's good to look at all these things, and I really hope
Rest in peace, Turtle WoW.
that that's what Blizzard does. Takes the ideas and finds out like, hey, this works. Why? Why does this work? A good example of this is like stat squishes, right? Like the Band-Aid fix for a stat squish is, the issue is the numbers are too big. Numbers get too big whenever you're looking at damage numbers, health numbers, whatever. The eyes and the mind, the player, it's just harder to comprehend. Like why work with big number when small number do trick? So what they do is they just throw a Band-Aid on it. Time for a stat squish. And now that's kind of what you have to do, but that's kind of like the easy to understand explanation of what I'm talking about. In a perfect world, the power creep and the scaling and everything in the game would have been designed. Now again, this is very idealistic, but in a perfect world, it would have been designed in a way that through the expansion and stuff, there was a nice sort of proper power curve that people could appreciate. Now, one of my opinions that I have talking about power creep and stuff, and this might be unpopular, I think the Nax patch and itemization in the Nax patch kind of ruined itemization in WoW. It gets really bad and it kind of peaks in Wrath, but throughout all of Burning Crusade, Nax is like the patch that came out and was like, okay, people are complaining about, oh, why do I have Spirit on my warrior gear? Why do I have this gear? Why do I have that gear? It's not efficient. It's not. So Blizzard took that and they were like, okay, we'll make the gear more efficient. But what ended up happening is they took those itemization points and created the most just insanely efficient suit of armor that anybody could imagine for whatever spec that tier 3 gear was for. So for a paladin, insane holy gear. Like if you're a full tier 3 paladin vanilla, you are a god, a literal god. The same goes for a warrior, or whatever spec it is that you
I
play.
can
Like
get
your
that.
gear is insane.
I can see
I feel
that.
like they went and they did this thing and it ended up causing this problem over time that ended up making everything hyper optimized. I think the culture of MMO players being super min maxy, I kind of think that would have happened anyway to some degree. However,
It would have happened
it's kind of
anyway.
exacerbated by the fact that it's so available. I think there's a lot to talk about with Classic Plus, and I think the discussion of Classic Plus, it has to start with these design principles. To kind of rehash my version of Classic Plus and what Classic Plus is what if Vanilla WoW had never ended, and kind of going with the design principles of what is like a Vanilla WoW to Burning Crusade pre-patch. Now, the Burning Crusade pre-patch that we have, that we've seen recently, is not the same Burning Crusade pre-patch that the original pre-patch was. Because we went from like patch 1.12 to patch 2.4. For those of you who aren't familiar, vanilla WoW wasn't just vanilla and this is the game and then they had different content releases. No, there was constantly changes. There was 11 patches. You started with patch 1.1 in vanilla and then they had itemization changes. They had class balance change. I mean, it was the crux of what legacy servers were and what made people so excited about vanilla and everything was this Blizz-like concept that was created by the Nostalrius team. That was the Nostalrius was the private server that really like launched into the freaking atmosphere the desire for legacy servers, right? And then they got shut down. That was the big thing. And then they gave their code to Elysium, who made a spinoff. Elysium was doing some like, you know, under the table, taking money, weird stuff. So then Lights Hope came about. White Kidney came in and hijacked the servers and created a new server called Lights. Dude, private server drama is amazing. It's so funny. So anyway, that was kind of like how it all happened. That's how it all went down. And then Elysium people, they went and they eventually made Turtle WoW and all that, right? And then now Turtle WoW is getting sued, you know, all that kind of stuff. Will Classic Plus be a better continuation of Classic or better as SOD 2.0? I did not like SOD. Let's take it a step back. You know, whenever I talk about like Band-Aid fixes and stuff like that, I think SOD did some things well, but SOD is like the ultimate example of Band-Aid fixes taken to the extreme, where they were like throwing everything at the wall, seeing what sticks. Hey, this isn't good, but then they throw a Band-Aid over it to try and, you know, hey, let's just push this thing out there. I think if they designed Classic Plus in the same sort of vein that SOD was designed, it'll be a massive failure. There's just a lot of problems from a system standpoint. Now, ironically enough, I do think it was like if you play SOD, it's like pressing your buttons is fun. It feels fun, but it doesn't feel like Classic WoW. It's like, does it matter if it feels like Classic WoW if it's fun? Yes and no, actually. There's some argument to be made against that. But I think that at its core, like that's what draws people in. You want to hook people in with like the what could be. You want to hook people in with like that sort of nostalgia. However, the good game design, it actually being fun to play, all these things, and it feeling like it's what you expect to play, especially nowadays, man. People want what they know they will like. And people are
I enjoyed SOD, so
but a lot of people. The MMO audience is very much like that. Everybody is just scratching and clawing and drooling and just frothing at the mouth, wanting a new MMO. But the second they get a new MMO, they hate it. It always happens, right? Now, there's a lot of reasons for this, and sometimes the MMO is just not good. Right, it's just the truth. So, whenever you talk about like what is Classic Plus, I talked about the starting point already. So there's a lot of like nitty gritty discussion to have about Classic WoW and Classic Plus and all this stuff. And in my opinion, we still have not gotten the best version of Classic WoW. Like, I don't think we got the best version of Classic WoW that Blizzard could have made in 2019. I feel very, very strongly about that. I think that what we saw from like kind of design principles and the concept that the Nostalrius team went with, which was adopted by Elysium, by Lights Hope, and kind of changed it literally changed the entire trajectory of how private servers operated before Classic released. I think that was the way to do it, but Blizzard never really did it exactly that way, which is very frustrating to me because I spent a lot of time before Classic launch talking to Blizzard about this. There's some things that I talked to them about that they did, which is nice. Like originally there was going to only be 4 patches for vanilla. I think they even announced at BlizzCon they only wanted 4 patches. And I was like, I remember like sitting there, I had like I think it was like a 2.5 hour meeting talking to the devs. And I'm like, these are all the reasons why this is a terrible, terrible idea. And it's going to kill the game. Because originally there was 11 patches, right? One of the other things was like spell batching. I was never like a huge fan of spell batching. The reason why I was a huge fan of spell batching was not because of it existing in general, because a lot of people wanted it. What I was worried about is like, what if we're wrong? What if Blizzard overcompensates? Or what if we are wrong about the spell batch window? Because on private servers, I think we had a 200 millisecond batching window. And in reality, it was 400 milliseconds. And on private servers, it was only in combat. So what Blizzard did, they put it 400 milliseconds and they threw it on the entire game. So looting was lagging. Any sort of interaction with an NPC, you want to buy something off a vendor, it was laggy. Everything was like the whole game just felt kind of laggy. It was kind of stupid. As opposed to private servers, which had a 200 millisecond batch only on combat. What a batch is a latency buffer to make it to where if some people have worse internet, that there's less of a discrepancy between somebody with good internet and bad internet, which is really good for like, let's say if somebody plays overseas, which on private servers, like we were playing on European servers. A lot of people now that hate batching, they hate the version of batching that they saw in Classic 2019, which was terrible. It was horrible. Even I wasn't like a big fan of batching before that, but I was like, yeah, if you want to put it in and test it and see how people like it, that'd be fine. And I think that's what they should have done in the beta. However, they were like, well, you know, people keep saying no changes. People keep saying no changes. And I'm like, guys, You have to account for the times. There was a video that I put out before Classic came out that I was really kind of like, I felt very strongly about this. You have to account for the times, and you have to realize that no changes is not a real thing. People don't
Right.
really know, or people don't really even remember what was
You don't
going on in
remember how
Vanilla.
things
What
were.
people do know, what people do remember is what they saw on private servers recently. What people do know is how they felt. And my big argument, you can go back to this video, Classic WoW needs changes. It was either might need changes or needs change. I forgot what the title is, but you can go back and look at this video from years ago, and I talk about all this stuff. And I'm like, the feeling of authenticity is so much more important than factual authenticity, because nobody knows how much armor this random gorilla outside of Gurubashi Arena had. Nobody knows that. Nobody has any idea. That stuff doesn't matter. Factual authenticity doesn't matter. What matters is that people feel like they're playing the game that they grew up and they loved and all that stuff. That's the thing. Yeah, you have to capture the experience. Look, before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to make a series of videos talking more about the nitty gritty of the design principles of this. I'm talking about like the talents and kind of what the game is and everything. I think where you really have to start, what you really have to talk about is what you want to see in Classic Plus content wise. If you're talking about vanilla forever, level 60 forever, and you're looking at the design principles of like, hey, it's Burning Crusade pre-patch, but the Dark Portal never opened, okay? That's my sort of vision for Classic Plus. That's what I want, okay? Well, what else happens? There's so much stuff here. And yeah, I know Turtle WoW did a lot of good things. I don't think everything that Turtle did is feasible or even makes sense, but like, I think there is some good ideas that you could pull from it. I do think it's wise to look at what other things have worked from a community standpoint and see how you can make it apply, or maybe something similar. Even here, right? Like Hyjal is in the game, right? Hyjal is in the game on the map. There's stuff that you can do in Ashara, right? Wait, do I really have this corner of Ashara discovered on this character? It's crazy. But like, there's stuff that you can do in Ashara, right? Hyjal is literally right here, okay? It's right under Winter Spring, okay? You can actually glitch into Hyjal. You can go here, and it's the geography is all there in vanilla. They had all of it. There's just so much that you can do. You know, you can go here, and then you have, but you have Grim Batol right here, right? These are all things that they actually ended up putting in the game later on, and like Cataclysm, they like kind of resurfaced. They redid the whole world, and they added a bunch of different things that like they originally wanted to put in and never put in. We actually talked to Jeff Kaplan about this a little bit, and he's like, oh yeah, I mean, these were all things that were like all a part of the drawing board, but then, you know, it's over time, it's like, oh, well, this gets put in this expansion, this gets put in that expansion. But you can see it all there. This is the Greymane Wall. It's even named. You can scroll over it, and at the top of the screen, you say Greymane Wall. This is where the Worgans are in Cataclysm, right? This is where they come from. So all these things are there. If you go into, if you go here into Hillsbrad, you go into Alterac, Dalaran, right? Dalaran is right here. And then eventually Dalaran, it's protected by the arcane mages, but it gets, you know, lifted up into the sky, and then they take it into Northrend and all that stuff, right? I think there's a lot of different stuff that you can do within the scope of Classic WoW as it is, and unlock these areas and add content with like more of a horizontal progression. But not only that, again, I'm gonna save some of the nitty gritty, but I talked about how the Nax patch I think was really bad for the future of WoW. I actually think they need to do a rebalancing of the itemization, not to make things better, but to make things a little bit worse, and to break down this power creep. Because if you want to have a more horizontal progression, I think the absolute best patch, and it's arguable between these two, but 1.6 was Blackwing Lair, 1.7 was Zul'Gurub. If you talk to most of the like vanilla WoW enthusiasts, almost everybody will tell you either one of those two patches is the absolute best patch for itemization. Now you can make some arguments about like, you know, they did some things to pull some things up in 1.10 and in 1.9 they did some reworks and they added an AQ. But at that point, everything is already scaled out of control. So that ZG patch, that BWL patch, the itemization is amazing. Like vanilla actually peaks in that area of the patch progression because the itemization is so good. Talking about like these different places they could open up. Like one of the things that I would really like to see is like, what if they opened up, like they unlocked Dalaran? I think they should add like new quest hubs, right? So like if they unlocked Dalaran and they made Dalaran like a quest hub that could be here like closer to this Horde side, and I know that's really, really close to Undercity and it might get terrorized. On that same front, I think if they added like a Horde quest hub here on this side near Grim Batol, and they opened up Grim Batol as like a dungeon or a raid or something like that, I think could be really cool. There's so many different things they could do, man. If you go here, you go over here to Oldham, right? Oldham is in the game. And there's like a there's an
I mean, things that they could do to even just, if they want to do all that, grow me. Have her behind jump in there, be like, hey, this is a alternate timeline. XYZ, this, that, and the third. That's how I think I would want that done. Yeah, I think that would for I think yeah. Let's
awesome quest chain. Like it's so lore heavy. If you go into the Badlands and you go to Oldaman, right? Oldaman, you do the Oldaman quest chain. It's like an insane lore dump of like the history of the dwarves and everything that the dwarves are about and how like the Azeroth was created and all that. And then it leads you to Oldham and then it just kind of dies. It just kind of ends. I think if they were to expand on these kinds of things, I think it would be super cool. Another example of something that's a little bit less cool, but still cool. Where is it? Oh,
less cool, but
Timberwall
still cool.
Hold right here, right? Going into Winterspring. Okay. Still kind of cool, right? But that's a whole nother area, right? Timbermaw Hold is like maybe there's something there. I think Turtle WoW did something with Timbermaw Hold, right? Some people are kind of intrigued by that idea, but there's like a lot of areas out in the world that there's just so much more that could be done there. Even some of these like off islands, like Isle of Dread, like there's like this is like for like one quest chain. Maybe there's something else that could be done there. There's just so much map. Alcaz Island. Wait, how do I not have Alcaz? Okay, this character is bugged. Because didn't I have to discover Alcaz Island for Scarabord? Wasn't that part of the Scarabord question? Yeah, we did a whole thing there. Underneath the cemetery in Duskwood. Yeah, I mean, well, I will say this. So I don't want to like leave too much of a bad taste in people's mouth about like how I feel about Sod. I think Sod had a lot of problems, but I do think they did a lot of things well. And one of the things that they did do well was Karazhan Crypts. I think Karazhan Crypts is a great example. By the way, you know, I skipped over Karazhan. Karazhan is in the game. Karazhan is in the game in vanilla. The tower is there. Maybe there's something to be done with Karazhan. Maybe, I mean, Karazhan, if you just look at it, it's so big. This thing is not meant to be a 10-man raid. It's basically, it's like they sized it for like a 40-man raid. You know what I mean? Like, I think Karazhan Crypts needs some work, but like for what they did with it and for the little resources that the Blizzard had given the classic team, I think they did a pretty good job. It was still cool,
yeah, they did.
Design-wise. Now, I just touched on something that I think is the crux of the entire issue with Classic Plus, with Blizzard, with everything.
Time
and its resources. And it's the allocation of those resources. It feels like Blizzard does not support the Classic team enough. Maybe it's not even fair to say Blizzard because, you know, the freaking Microsofts and the Activisions and, you know, the overlords over the years, I feel like have just kind of like beaten the soul out of so many things. And it's really, really frustrating to see because especially when you get a chance to like meet some of these devs and to talk to these people and you know how passionate these guys are. And even if you disagree with them on some things, like, for example, like I said, I harp on Sod a lot, and like Sod is kind of like Agren's baby. I think Agren is great. I've had the chance to talk to Agren a bunch of times. He's a wonderful person to talk to. He actually like, I'm a stupid MMO player who thinks the devs are idiots and don't know anything about their own game. Okay, like most of us. But then you talk to these people and you're like, oh wait, okay, they do get it. But then it's like, well, who here is freaking making the call to not let certain things happen or to not make certain things able to happen? I'm starting to frustrate myself talking about this a little bit because it is frustrating sometimes whenever you talk to these people and you feel like everybody agrees with what you're saying and you're saying the same things that like the community feels. And then it's like, it's very frustrating, man. It's very frustrating. I'm hoping that at some point, somewhere, you know, in their freaking ivory tower.
In the ivory tower.
Okay, you know, maybe we'll actually do something here that works. Sometimes it just almost even feels like there's like, you know, whenever they don't say anything, you're like popping freaking bots off and banning people, right? But then what happens is they get acquired by Activision and then freaking Deep Pockets Bobby comes in and he's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna get rid of all these people. We don't need any of this. Why do we have any of this? We can automate this system. We can do this. We can do that. Oh, there's bots. Why don't we get bots? Those original principles that are put in from like some of the old guys. But the fact of the matter is this is just kind of how people feel, right? And the other fact of the matter is that it's not like that anymore. The bad man is gone. The bad man is gone. Even that interview, like the long-term plan is, and he's like, yeah, whatever, buddy. Is this going to make us X amount of money next year? to make us X amount of money next year. And it's like, how can you predict that?
Can't.
There's no way
That's
that you can predict that.
ridiculous.
That guy's gone too, by the way. A lot of those people are gone. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the old people that were Heims and these people, right? Even the people that made Classic 2019, a lot of those people are unfortunately gone now. But that doesn't mean that there's not other good people that are currently working at Blizzard and currently working on the game that care a lot about Classic. And I do think that's really important that they care about Classic, right? They want to, I think if you're working on the Classic team and if you're working on Classic WoW, you need to live, breathe, freaking shit, piss, freaking, if you can do it, it needs to be Classic, okay? I feel like if you're working on an MMO, it kind of disagree with that. My sunglasses on, smoking a cigar. Chad, the end user will typically know more about software.
Well, I will be right back. I'm going to go take a quick bio break, and then we will get back over to World of Warcraft. Back over to World of Warcraft.